In Southern Black culture, glasses can talk. The clink of the ice, the warm breeze from the porch. Iced tea was more than just sugar and water. It was hospitality. It was dignity. It said that, at least here today on this porch, you mattered. So join us today while we discuss the history of iced tea and Southern Black culture. I'm your country boy. This is One Mic Black History. If you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemichistory.com. But without further ado, let's get started. So, tea came to North America through the British Empire in the 1700s, poured through big houses and out back where enslaved people did much of the work. After the Civil War, imported black tea became cheaper and Southern heat pushed for people to chill it. Long before the myth of the 1904 World's Fair, Southern cookbooks and newspapers from the 1800s were already printing recipes for iced tea. By the early 1900s, brands even marked tea for icing, and sweet tea became the Southern house drink, brewed strong, sugared warm, and shocked cold with ice. So here comes the hard truth though. Sugar didn't just sweeten tea. It helped build enslavement in the Americas. In the 1500s, the Spanish and the Portuguese forced Africans to work on sugar plantations, and about 80% of all enslaved Africans were taken to the Americas to work on sugar plantations, specifically in the Caribbean and Brazil. When early mines failed, colonists turned to sugar because it grew well and they made huge profits. Life on these plantations was brutal. Long hours, heat, fire, and disease. Many died very young. Planters rationed molasses, which was a cheap leftover of the refinement of sugar, to squeeze more labor out of the hungry enslaved people. This was not about kindness. It was control. During that same time, some ingredients signaled status. Fresh lemons and mint were expensive, so minted lemonade showed up early in middle-class households as a cool drink. It meant we have a little money. Ice was another expensive item. During colonial times, only the wealthy kept big ice houses, and even later, during the Great Migration, ice required cash and a little muscle. The Iceman would haul heavy blocks of ice up hot steps, so a glass packed with ice wasn't just refreshing, it took effort and care that you could taste. When ice hit a strong tea, the humble leaf turned into a luxury. It was a cold glass that said, I spent a little money on you. Through all of this, West African values held fast. Travelers wrote about the custom of offering guests food or drink, even if it was just water. Enslaved people carried that rule of welcome across the ocean. Under enslavement and Jim Crow, even when resources were tight and respect was rare, handing someone a cold drink on a porch became dignity. It said that you at least matter here. And there was a bit of resistance there too, like fermenting local persimmons into beer or liquor. It kept skills alive, it claimed pride, and it asserted humanity. Putting that all together, you can see why a cold, sweet drink became a big deal in the Black community. After emancipation, the Black church became the center of life. It was school, it was meeting hall, it was a savings club, it was the kitchen. Through night watch services, camp meetings, brush harbor revivals, kept the rhythm in the worship, and then dinner on the grounds. Women's groups like Missionary Circle and the usher boards and the kitchen committee ran dinner services, and it guarded the pitchers of iced tea. Funerals led the repast where iced tea and lemonade became a part of the comfort. It was a ritual of care almost as old as the Black church itself. During the same time, fish fries also grew. When people gathered by the rivers to cook what they had caught that day, after the Civil War, fish fries became church fundraisers and neighborhood socials because fish, cornmeal, and oil were cheap and could feed a whole crowd. Black newspapers regularly posted notices about them, and that drew watchful eyes. Temperance groups and some church leaders were worried about drinking and gambling, and the sheriff sometimes would use this as a reason to harass Black gatherings. Still, fish fries paid for building funds and school drives and church choirs, and a cold drink of iced tea was never far away. Once again, during the Great Migration, segregation and redlining meant that many public spaces were closed to Black customers, so people built their own spaces. Small eateries, bars, juke joints, barbecue stands, soda counters, corner stores offered a safe service when many spaces would not. Drinks like tea, lemonade, red sodas were cheap to make and easy to sell and would keep the lights on. Those profits flowed through the Black community through church mortgages and mutual aid and benevolent society, scholarship drives, and even bail funds for protests. A famous example of this is Pigfoot Mary, who arrived in the Mississippi Delta, sold Southern plates and drinks on the street, and used the earnings to buy Harlem real estate. In many towns, spots like Tilly's Chicken Shack or Gogon's Barbecue became anchors where a couple at the counter helped pay for musicians, fund newspapers, and keep a safe table for the next Black traveler. Within the Black kitchen, skills moved by sight and sound and not cookbooks. Under enslavement and Jim Crow, many cooks learned by watching their elders how to brew strong tea, how to make it sweet, when to pour it. Domestic workers carried this expertise into hotels and white homes, then back to their own churches and kitchens. During the Great Depression and after World War II, when sugar was scarce or rationed, so sweetness was planned and prized. Home refrigerators didn't spread widely into the 1940s and into the 1950s. So before that, families icebox or paid an iceman by the block. That made ice a luxury. So filling up a guest cup of real ice on a hot day was more than service. It was a bit of sacrifice. Additionally, it wasn't always tea and lemonade. Black folks also had a penchant for red drinks, and that color carries some memory. In some Western African cultures, red is royal. It is a ritual color linked to power, ceremony, and community. That spirit traveled to the Americas in cups. Hibiscus or sorrel sweetened and spiced with ginger turned holidays bright red in the Caribbean. Cola nut tea can tint water a reddish hue and was prized for making bad water taste better and for marking status. In the United States, hibiscus didn't grow well at first, so people adapted. By 1870s, in the South, red lemonade showed up at emancipation celebrations. Later, it turned into red soda water, and even red Kool-Aid became an affordable stand-in to match the look and the feeling of the red drink flavor that had a connection back to our West African heritage. However, there's always another side to this. Heavy sugar, fried foods, salty meals help folks survive lean times, but they also raise rates of high blood pressure and diabetes. Groups like the Nation of Islam push for new habits like no pork or more whole foods. And today, many families cut the sugar and use smoked turkey instead of pork or brew with citrus and honey. Through all of this, drinks never lost their welcome within the Black community. Can I fix you something? It's not really a question. It was a welcome, and you accept it, even if it's just a sip. Guests often pick at food so they don't shame the host, but these small rules protect dignity in a world where the outside doesn't. There's a script to the pour. The host keeps your tea topped off, and you can say thank you, and if you want it to be less sweet, you ask for unsweetened because sweetened is assumed as the default. And in the end, there's a heart to it. These drinks travel. These drinks are currency of love and care. A cold glass on a hot day says that you're safe with us. And during Jim Crow travel, families packed box lunches and kept jars of sweet tea to avoid the danger and disrespect of being on the road. And during Juneteenth, a red drink toast meant survival and joy, and a simple sip can carry the entire history of Black folks. The work, the love, loss, and some hope. Thank you. I'm your host, Country Boy, and this has been the story of iced tea and the Black community. If you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemichistory.com. I'd like to thank all my financial contributors. Without you, none of this could be possible. I love you all. Peace.